caring for the community's homeless cats. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I'm Dorothy Sterlogs, and my guest today is Chris Rowland. She is the founder, owner, caretaker of Happy Tales here in Glendive. Chris, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So you have an interest in cats?
Now I do. I was more of a dog person until we started rescuing cats, but now I do like cats more.
So talk a little bit about what possessed you to open up a rescue. Started for dogs and cats?
Yeah, we started for dogs and cats, but dogs kind of take a little more work, so we're not able to do them now, so we're just with cats. But when we lived in Raleigh, North Carolina, Charles and I fostered for a rescue down there for several years, and I bet we had between 20 to 30 fosters while we were there through our home. So, I mean, we loved doing that. We fell in love with fostering at that time. And then when we moved back here, we decided that, you know, when Secondhand Paws closed, and there was nothing at all here. So we thought, well, I got nothing else to do right now. Why not start a rescue?
So talk about being a foster, because I would be attached to the point of each animal that I couldn't give it back. How does that process work?
Right, so the goal is to say goodbye. It sounds kind of sad, but it's not. So the goal is, if we kept these cats, like if I kept these two kittens, I couldn't take more in to help. So I have to help them, get them healthy, find them a home, and they move out so that more can come in. So we can continue to help more cats. So, I mean, you do get attached, you love them like your own. We have them in our home just free roaming, so I mean, they're part of the family, and we have children, and they do get attached, so they're more of the problem than the adults in the family. But they know too that we have to say goodbye in order to welcome someone else in to help them find a home.
I don't know, sounds like a heartstring to me.
It is hard, it is. But you know, you got to think about how you're going to help the next one. So if you keep them all, you can't help more.
So the concept of Happy Tales then, explain that.
So we want to just help, you know, a lot of animals are abandoned or strays here in town, and it is quite a large number. I don't know of any statistics on it, but you know, just watching the posts on Facebook, you see lots of dogs running loose, people find cats. So it's hard, you know, we need something here other than the law enforcement will pick up a stray dog. So we thought, well, we need to start an organization that helps people keep their pets, maybe, to keep pets from being dumped or, you know, just being homeless. So, you know, we also have the Pet Food Pantry and the Rescue are our two main programs. So we keep people, get them pet food if they can't afford it, to help them get through to keep their animal instead of rehoming it. So that then, you know, they can keep their pet with them, the pet that's known them, is comfortable with them, familiar with them. You know, no need to rehome them if they just are having an emergency and need pet food. Or, you know, we would like to do spay and neuter vouchers to help people get their pets spayed and neutered. We just don't have funding for that right now.
Is that a goal?
That is a goal that we would like to do, is to be able to provide that assistance with spay and neuter for people so that we can help, you know, control the pet population so we're not having all these unwanted litters of cats and dogs.
When you have your pantry open, is that for dogs as well as cats?
Yes, so we have cat food and dog food there. So anybody who's a resident of Glendive that's in need of pet food can come down. We have a short application. It's just kind of their general information and information on their pets, so we can try to match up what we have as donated food to what they need, like dry food, wet food, puppy, adult, and we try to match as best we can with what we have.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit about fostering. How many cats do you have in your home now?
In our home, we just have these two kittens as fosters because we do have 3 adult cats that are our pets. So we can't take in another adult cat because we have too much stress and fighting going on with our cats, and we don't want to stress out our own cats.
So talk a little bit about cats and their territories and their behaviors when you bring in another animal.
Right, so I just brought these 2 kittens to the house last night, and the kids instantly wanted to take them out and play with them. But the kittens were scared because they're not used to us, they don't know us. So, you know, they are in a large kennel to keep them separated from the older cats and so that they can find their food, their water, and their litter box and know where everything is. It's all right there. And they can still see the older cats. The older cats can come up to the kennel and see them and smell them. But we have separation so nobody gets injured. And so this could take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. And then we'll let the kittens out to play sometimes. And then we obviously supervise that so the older cats don't come in and injure them.
Do cats, the older cats that are established in your home, do they take on different personalities when you keep bringing in these little
They do.
kitties?
So we have one that will run and hide, and we don't see her very often at all during this time. And then we have one who likes to be tough, so she hisses at everything, and she's growling and swatting at everybody, and she'll start picking fights with the other cats. The older cats, even though she gets along with them, she'll just start picking fights because she's stressed out. And then we have another one she's our baby cat, so she was hissing at them, but not a whole lot else yet. And they'll hide from the kittens. They'll stay back, and they won't approach them for a bit. Then they'll slowly get used to them being everywhere. And their scent, as they run around the house, their scent gets around the house. So the older cats will smell the scent, and they'll smell it on us when we cuddle the kittens too. So they slowly get used to them. And
It doesn't do permanent damage to their psyche?
not that I know of. We haven't had fosters in several months. And so, I mean, they were normal before we brought these kittens home last night.
So where do these kittens come from that you foster?
These particular kittens they were born in the rescue. Their mom came from the trailer park. I want to say she was Casitas del Mesa is where the mom came from. Their mother is Cleo, if anybody is following the cats. Cleo is their mom. She came to the rescue because she had been found. She was young. She's under a year, but she was pregnant. And she was just a stray cat living in the trailer park. And they asked us to take her in, and we had room, so we took her in, and that's when we found out she was pregnant.
So where were the kittens born then?
They were born in the rescue, so we have, the rescue is now managed by George and Robin Coling, and they have a room in their garage where all the cats live that they have in the rescue. They've got kennels for them if anyone needs to be separated, lots of cat trees and toys, and so we do have, they're free roaming. We don't keep them kenneled all the time, which is why we only have a limited space, and we have only a few fosters. So we do have a limit where we'll only have 10 cats in rescue at a time.
Talk about the Colings, because they were doing this before you started, right?
Yes, they have been rescuing a few cats here and there for about, I think it's like 13 years or so. Just cats that have been dumped near their home, or people contact them because they know that they help cats, and they'll take the cats, they'll get them vetted, spayed and neutered, up to date on vaccines. They have kept some, but then they find homes for most of them because they become, if they were feral, they do work with them and make them friendly and sociable cats.
So what does feral mean?
So a feral cat is a cat that's had no human interactions, never been with people, doesn't know that people are good, nothing like that. So they won't come to you at all. They're hissing, they're biting. That's a feral cat. So not, and a stray cat is a cat that is used to humans, knows people, might come up to you for food or pets even if it has, I've had a lot of socialization with people.
Is there a cat problem in the county?
There is a large cat problem. I would say, I don't know about in the county, but definitely in the city, especially in some of the trailer parks in town. You often see a lot of people posting on Facebook groups saying, how many stray cats they saw today. These cats are, they're causing damage to their trailers, or, they're just running loose. If they're feral, they could be biting people, scratching people, and you don't know if they're carrying any diseases that people could get to.
So feral cats, are you ever able to catch them and tame them?
There is a window for cats of about 8 to 12 weeks. If they have no human interaction within that time, they're a lot harder to socialize. So if it's cat's like a 3-year-old feral cat and you catch it, that's going to take months, if not longer, to socialize, if you're able to even socialize him.
So what happens to that cat then?
So those cats, if they're caught and you get them spayed and neutered, you can turn them, they can be barn cats, and they can work and do hunting in barns because they don't need a lot of human interaction there. It's okay if they're not, cuddly and friendly there. That's not needed so much. So that's usually what we do if we find cats that are not so suited to a family home, such as that, but are slightly socialized. We do try to find them a barn home that they can go to.
And is there a need then in the community for barn cats?
There's not a big need because a lot of people with barn cats don't spay and neuter their barn cats, so they have kind of a never-ending well of cats to choose from.
Okay. So the Collings, how do you contact them if you have cats that you need to rehome?
So you can contact us through our Facebook page. We have two currently. We have the Happy Tales page, which is more the broad page where I post about the food pantry and any other things like that. And then we also have a page that's called Happy Tales Rescue, which is where we just showcase the cats in rescue, or if we're trying to help people find homes for their cats that they need to rehome, or you can give them a call. And that number is 359-9129.
Okay, and that puts you in touch with the Collings.
Yes, that's our rescue phone number where George and Robin manage, and they take care of any phone calls there.
So the two little kittens that you brought today are how old?
These two kittens here are 8 weeks old, and I think Friday they're 8 weeks old, or today they are. So they're just 8 weeks old.
So before they are adopted by someone, what happens to them? Are they neutered?
They're not spayed or neutered because they're only 8 weeks old. So here at the Dawson County Veterinary Clinic, the youngest they'll do a spay or neuter is 4 months. So the cat has to be 4 months or older for that to happen. And we don't adopt out under the age of 8 weeks, so they have to be 8 weeks old. And they will get to the vet, they'll get their first vaccine and dewormer. If they have any concern, if we have any health concerns for them, we get a wellness exam for them, make sure that they're good and healthy, and then they can be adopted out at that point. But our adoption agreement does have a clause in it that you will spay and neuter the cat by 6 months of age if it's a kitten.
Talk about that agreement that you have in place.
So with our adoption agreement, we do have an application process that people go through. They fill out an application. We do ask for a vet reference, and we check that if they're renters, we need to speak with the landlord to ensure that they're allowed to have pets in their rental. And we do this because we don't want to receive the pet back. It might sound a little harsh, but we don't want the cats back. We want them to find a home and stay in that home for their life. So we're making sure people are allowed to have pets where they are, so the landlord doesn't find out and say, oh, you have to get rid of that cat right now. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. And we also check vet reference to make sure people are keeping their current pets up to date on vaccinations and vetting and, taking them in if they're sick. And if not, we try to educate people on what is proper vaccination protocol, what they should be having done with their pets, because we do expect them to keep the cats that they're adopting from us up to date on vaccines, get them spayed and neutered when appropriate, age, and if they have issues, take them to the vet. And so then we also have an adoption agreement that you sign once you're approved that states, they need to be spayed and neutered by 6 months of age, and also that you're going to keep them indoors, that they will be a family pet, and that you will take them to the vet. And then also, if you, for any reason you cannot keep the cat, you return it to us. Instead of trying to find it a home, you just have to return it to us.
Okay, so why do you want them to sign an agreement that says they'll keep them indoors?
Well, as a pet. They can be indoor, outdoor, but we're adopting it out not as a barn cat. This is a family cat, a family pet that's going to stay in your home and cuddle and be friendly with you. We don't want it to be just kept strictly outdoors.
But how do you feel about people letting their cats in and out? Is there more chance for fights or a change in personality if they're outside?
I don't know so much about the change in personality because some cats just are hunters and they need to get out and hunt some part of the day. But there's definitely more chance for fights because they're going out into the world and there's other cats out there. But if your pet is spayed or neutered, there is less chance of fighting happening with your cat then. So if you're going to let your cat out, I would hope it's spayed and neutered. That would be the best because then you're not increasing the population, and up to date on vaccines so that your cat's protected in case it comes in contact with a cat that may not be up to date.
Do you know off the top of your head the cost for spaying and neutering a cat?
At the vet clinic here in town, at Dawson County Veterinary Clinic, for a cat spay is about $130 to $150, and for the cat neuter, it's about $70 to $80, I believe. And those are just quotes. I don't know exactly how much it is.
But probably pretty standard throughout the area as far as taking
At the
this.
vet, I've heard people say that other vet clinics are cheaper, so I don't know for sure what other vet clinics are. But we do all of our vetting for the rescue through the Dawson County Veterinary Clinic.
Okay. And vaccinations, what kinds of vaccinations are required for these animals?
So for cats, there's 2 vaccines that you can get locally here. Rabies vaccine, which is required for most things, like a license for your cat, or if they bite somebody, they want to see a rabies certificate. And there's also the feline distemper leukemia vaccine that you can get for the cats that covers, there's like 5 different diseases that it covers, plus leukemia. And so and that's a yearly vaccine that you get for your cat.
Okay. And that's it?
So those are the only 2 vaccines that you need to get. The rabies is sometimes good for more than a year, depending where you live, because there's laws on the rabies vaccine. There's also deworming is the other thing that you would want to keep up on with your cat on a regular schedule, and that depends on if they go hunting outside or if they're just indoors, as how often you're going to want to do that.
So if they're just indoor cats, why would they have to be dewormed if they're not outside where they could get
Right.
worms?
Well, you go outside.
Definitely.
So you pick up worms and things like that on your feet when you go outside, and that takes it in the house. So even though they don't go out into the outdoors, you are bringing the outdoors into the home. So they could still encounter worms in their environment because you're going outside and coming in. Or if you have dogs who go in and out, they're going outside and bringing things in as well.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your pantry or your total organization. You brought some stats with you.
Yes.
You opened when?
Well, we started Happy Tails in August of 2019. The pet food pantry, though, didn't start until February of 2020 is when we started that one. And so that is the starting dates.
Okay. So share the stats that you brought with.
Sure. So in 2019, we rescued 9 cats and 1 dog. And we also helped 21 cats with finding new homes for whatever reason that needed a new home. And then last year, in 2020, we rescued a total of 31 cats, and we helped people rehome about 16. I didn't keep good records on that, but that was what we did with those. And then we currently have 6 cats that we have available for adoption right now that we had from last year that were rescued.
And does that include these kittens?
That includes these 2 right here, yes. The rest of their litter mates have had adopters approved and are getting adopted this weekend. So we'll be down to 6 cats total.
So you will keep and be bonded with these cats until they find a new home.
Well, they will stay with us until they find a home, yes.
Can we take a look at them?
Yeah, we can take them
Will
out.
they easily come out of that cage?
Oh, they will, yes.
So when you have them, do you name them?
They do get names. Everybody gets a name. And some get used to their name and some don't, so you can always change their name. But this black one is a male, and his name is Pepper. And this gray one is a female named Alexandria. And they're 8 weeks old. These are 2 of Cleo's 5 babies. They think they're going to go have a party now. They got out. Yeah.
They're so sweet.
They are. They're still a little scared because we just got them to our house. They were with the Colings, and so now we're fostering them since they're 8 weeks, they need to socialize more, they need to be apart from their litter mates to help, so when they get rehomed, they don't have such a strong bond with their litter mates that they'll rehome easier. So that's why we are splitting them up at this point.
So when you have these 2 cats, are you hoping that they'll be adopted by the same family?
It depends. Sometimes some cats need to be the only cat. Some cats have to have another cat in their life. It could be, 2 kittens are always better than 1 because they'll play together instead of playing with you, and you don't have to entertain them 24/7. But they could be adopted together or they can be adopted separately. It all kind of depends on the cat. But at their age, it's hard to say if they'll be an only cat or need to have a friend.
So someone will adopt these cats and say they already have cats in their house. How do they introduce them?
The best way to introduce them is through slow introduction. If you can keep the kitten in a bathroom with the door shut with everything they need in there, so the other cats are in the whole home and the kittens are in. I'll take one. Get that guy. Joe Pepper. That way they can kind of smell each other under the door, and then you can have times where the kitten gets to roam around the house, but the old cats, are maybe shut in a bedroom so that they're not going to hurt the cat or the kitten. And then the kitten wanders and leaves his scent all over the home, and the older cat's scent's already there, so they're, scenting each other and smelling. And then after a few days, you can, open the door, maybe put a baby gate there so they can see each other, but not, just straight face to face. There's a gate there for protection, and just supervise them. You may need to supervise them for weeks or months depending on how your cat acts. If it's attacking the